So 6:30, we'll call the meeting to order, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone who is here for coming. The weather is just splendid and spring-like. All right, roll call, Mr. Lundberg.
Ullum.
Yes.
Odie.
Yep.
Saxer.
Yes.
Absent is Scott. Bell.
Yes.
All right, if there are no questions on the agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve it as presented, please.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. No conflict of interest disclosure or waiver requests this evening. Takes us to our approval of the minutes. We have a regular meeting from December 11th and two special meetings from December 7th and December 13th. I would entertain a motion to approve the regular and special meetings as presented, please.
So moved.
Second.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. No community input was presented this evening, so that takes us to the financial items, bills and claims. Mr. Lundberg.
Okay, I didn't have a lot noted on the listing of bills and claims. I just had a couple on page 2. School resource officer, $40,462. That's one half of the payment for the year for our school resource officer. And then the next one I had noted was at the back. I think it was just the U.S. Bank, the GO bond and capital outlay certificate payments of $421,381 comprises about half of our bills this month of $852,611 bond payments. So unless somebody else had any questions, that's all I had noted. $5,337 of advance payments is broken down for your $71,278 of pay vouchers and $123,096 of food service bills.
All right, any questions on the bills and claims this evening? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented, please.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Financial report whenever you're ready, Mr. Lundberg.
Okay, the cash report for the month of December had just under $14.5 million coming into the month, just under $4 million of receipts, $3,998,000. You can see in the body of that report that there was an interfund transfer of just about $1.5 million to the capital, from the general fund to the capital outlay fund. That's the cash flow, the purchase of the land that we made last month. And we had total $10,165,000 of disbursements, which left $8.3 million of cash at the end of December. $6,980,000 in the general fund, $1,268,000 in the special education fund, $54,000 in the bond redemption fund, and just under $10,000 in the enterprise fund. $3,998,000 is itemized on the next two pages. Following that is an investment report. We have all of our available investment cash in the South Dakota Fit money market account at just over 5% interest rate. Payroll and benefits for the month of December, $2.7 million of payroll, very average month. As we talked about right away at the beginning of the year, this 2.7 is about an average month of payroll in the Brandon Valley School District for this year. $1,652,000 of payroll taxes and benefits. And then on the financial reports, the first page is the revenue. We're 50% through the fiscal year, so the revenue starts being more pertinent at this time, and it'll get even more pertinent as each month rolls by. We're pretty steady at about the same as last year at this time. Despite the enrollment shortfall that we had, we're still at 43% in the general fund of revenue versus 43.76 versus 43.26 last year. I did note that in the middle of the page in the general fund, the only real outstanding item that we have right now is that worries me or whatever would be the franchise tax. That's the only one that really has a bearing on us, and what that would do to us, it's a 1-year delay on how it'll affect us, so the way the year is going, it will probably be tank city. But then we get it back next year in the state aid formula. That adjustment is made there. On the expenditure side, general fund is showing 49.41% expended versus 49.95% last year. That would project to me, my numbers show about 0.75% under budget for the year, which is about 300,000. In addition to that, we'll have the 2 days of in-service that we eliminated for 260,000. So I'm hopefully showing $560,000 of underspending of the general fund budget at year end. That would be my projection at halfway point. Capital outlay, nothing to comment on. The special ed report is a little higher than last year. My analysis of that showed that it's just more timely billing on the part of Teachwell. We seem to be keeping up with the billing process a little better, so that's why it's 2% higher. Food service shows a $313,000 loss right now, as compared to a $185,000 loss budgeted. It's hard. Our federal reimbursement for meals is down a little bit right now, but that's hard to estimate when we're coming off these ESSER years and whatnot. So, and it's not detrimental if we show a loss in there. We tried to plan a loss in that fund just because of our excessive cash balance in there. So not real concerning, but it'll a little higher in budget. And then $263,905 in the trust and agency fund. Questions for me?
No, I'd just like to say that I think the $500,000 you talked about was about on target with what you proposed for expense cuts, so good job.
Yep.
If there are no further questions on the financial report tonight, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented, please.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lundberg.
Thank you.
All right, that takes us to our general business section. Administration reports, Administrative Center, Superintendent Larson.
Madam Chair, first I just wanted to share with the Board of Education a letter that we received from the Associated School Boards of South Dakota from Executive Director Wormerdahl. The Associated School Boards of South Dakota identified districts that scored above the state average in all three assessed areas and sent congratulatory letters to their respective schools. So appreciate Associated School Boards recognizing academic excellence and working to support those schools that have achieved that. So just wanted to share that with the board. In terms of superintendent's report, I do have a few items to report to you. We continue to work through our strategic planning process, working with our respective liaison committees. We're doing a little bit of power planning. We are also going to be disseminating a parent survey instrument, gathering some of those feedbacks. There will also be some open house opportunities here later in the spring as we work through that respective process. BV Listens 3.0, this is a strategy that's directly aligned to our strategic plan in the area of staff development, where we work to support highly effective teachers, leaders, and staff. And ultimately, what BV Listens is a work environment survey. There are two different work environment surveys that we disseminate. One is for certified staff, and one is for classified staff. So those survey instruments have been sent to staff, and they will remain open until January 17th. So there will be a couple more reminders going out to folks to make certain that everyone knows about the opportunity and gets it completed prior to the deadline. Legislative session opens tomorrow. Look forward to working through that respective process. Academic calendar, you'll be hearing real shortly regarding the proposed academic calendar for next year. Would just note that it is consistent and corresponding to the current year calendar. And then we also work through our administrative council, our teacher liaison council, as well as our classified council during the development of that calendar. You'll receive the initial presentation tonight, and pending no major concerns or no issues, we will bring that back at our second meeting in January for action. Budget process, as we have previously shared with you, in the process of looking at the 5-year plans that have been sent in by the administration. We'll then take the time to assemble those respective items. Budget forms and documents are distributed, completed, compiled, and reviewed by the central office here January through March. In February, you'll see a presentation of the 5-year plan. We'll look to do anything that we do with new staffing positions likely in March, along with the preliminary capital outlay budget that will be presented in March. If you remember, that's very important for those big ticket items that we have to work through the procurement process, and then that determines how many other available resources there are or lack thereof, depending on how those respective numbers come in. You'll see a preliminary budget presentation in May, and we will hold our public budget hearing in July with potential action. There is no school on January 15th. If you can remember, that is a half-day flexible workshop day for our certified staff. That's on the books, so there's no school for students on January 15th. Staff have that half-day flexible workshop day. There is no school for staff, or no school for students or staff on February 16th or February 19th. That is the Friday and Monday of President's Day weekend. Madam Chair, that is all I have for you here this evening. Would certainly entertain any questions you have at this point.
What kind of response rate are you expecting for the BV Listens survey? Or last times, 90%, 80%?
I would guess that we will receive somewhere in the neighborhood of over 1,100 or 1,200 respondents is what I would suggest, or what I would estimate. That's similar to what we had the first time around. Again, we disseminate it, and then folks elect to participate or not.
All right, thank you very much. Greg, or Mr. O, did you have anything?
Nope.
Okay. Mr. Lumberg, anything additional? No one from the middle school is here, but we wanted to extend our sympathies to Spencer Thorsland's family for his passing, as well as the 7th grade class. So please be keeping that family and that class in your thoughts and prayers. That would be much appreciated. Mr. Skipstead, anything tonight? All right. No board policy tonight. That takes us to general business item. Our first item, the 2024-25 proposed academic calendar. Again, presentation, no action.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just going to quickly run through the 24-25 key points of our academic calendar. Again, consistent and corresponding is how I would best describe the respective calendar. Members of the board, I did provide you with a hard copy of the calendar that we are talking about. When you take a look at August 2024, we bring our new staff in on Tuesday, August 13th. And then we begin with our staff on Thursday, August 15th with AM in-service, PM workshop. We take Friday off, so our staff have the ability to have that long weekend prior to the week when school starts. So that Friday is off, and then Monday and Tuesday, we kick it back with all staff. Tuesday is the all-staff welcome back that the Board of Education hosts for all of our staff, providing a meal, photo, et cetera. And then school starts with students on Wednesday, August 21st. Looking at the month of September, there is no school on Monday, September 2nd, which is Labor Day. Looking to October 24th, this is the month where we will have our parent-teacher conferences. October 7th is elementary and high school conferences. October 8th is intermediate and middle school conferences. Would note that both of those are regular school days. The comp day will be held on Friday, October 11th. And then there is no school on Monday, October 14th for staff in service, and I would just note that that is Native American Day. Looking into November, there is no school on Monday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. And then Thanksgiving break, again, there is no school on Wednesday, November 27th, Thursday, the 28th, or Friday, the 29th. Again, that's consistent and corresponding with taking the Wednesday of Thanksgiving break off.
So not a half day, a full day.
It's a full day off. Wednesday is a whole day off. December 2024, when we take a look at that month, winter break will begin with a 2-hour early dismissal on Friday, December 20th. And then Christmas break or winter break will run Monday, December 23rd through Wednesday, January 1st. School resumes on Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. So we come back with that short week, which is preferred by staff. Folks who look at this calendar may think to themselves, why don't we just take Thursday and Friday off and have the full 2 weeks for Christmas break? That is certainly an option that we looked at, but that type of decision would require you to eliminate the Wednesday of Thanksgiving break and the Friday of President's Day break and still get done prior to Memorial Day. So it's important when we look at these calendars, anytime we want to add a vacation day, you got to find it somewhere else to stay within those confines. So that is the planned winter break. So as stated in January 2025, school will resume on Thursday, January 2nd. There will be no school on Monday, January 13th. That's going to be a half-day flexible workshop day. It is relevant to note to the Board of Education that the half-day flexible workshop days that we are utilizing require agreeance with the Brandon Valley Education Association, as it outlines in the master contract that the day following semester one, they will have work time to complete grades and all those respective things. So we worked with the BVEA here this last fall when we tweaked our calendar within our budget plan, and it was agreeable. Met with them again going through the 24-25 year plan or calendar, and again, it was agreeable. We do intend to reach out to certified staff and gain feedback in terms of how they feel about the half-day flexible workshop day after the half-day flexible workshop day here in a couple of weeks. So can't tell you right now whether it's preferred or not preferred, but we will be asking that respective question. But due to timing and also what we have available to us, it was important for us to front-load the workshop time and the in-service time, and the association was agreeable to that. So just want to note that that's a component of what we're working with within this calendar. There will be no school on Monday, January 20th, 2025, and that is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. February 2025, there's no school on Friday, February 14th, as well as on Monday, February 17th, and that is President's Day weekend. Again, consistent approach to President's Day weekend with that Friday off. March 2025, this is where you'll find our spring parent-teacher conferences. The 10th is for the intermediate school and middle school. March 11th will serve as the date for the elementary and high school. Again, regular school days. There is no school scheduled for Thursday, March 13th. That will be a snow day. And then there is no school Friday, March 14th, as that is the comp day. Looking at April 2025, we have a 2-hour early dismissal on Thursday, April 17th. There is no school on Friday, April 18th, and no school on Monday, April 21st. That serves as your spring break, which also corresponds with Easter. Looking to May 2025, Brandon Valley High School graduation will be on Sunday, May 11th. The last day for students is scheduled for Thursday, May 22nd, with a 2-hour early dismissal. And then we again utilize that half-day workshop on Friday, May 23rd, 2025. I would note that that is not flexible workshop. That is a workshop date where folks will have to come in to check out, et cetera. So when speaking to consistent and corresponding, the items that I would specifically point to is no school the Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, 2-hour early dismissals prior to winter and spring break, in-service scheduled for staff and no school for students on Native American Day, no school on the Friday of President's Day weekend, and then just additional days necessary due to weather. We do have one snow day, and then others would be added to the end of the year, or we will utilize that flexible curriculum development planning approach as it fits into what's best for our students and our staff. So with that, would certainly entertain any questions that you may have.
The flexible workshop.
Jared,
that
I've
we-
got one.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
The preliminaries for the state track, will they involve us in that last week of May 22nd, or isn't it here that year, or what? We usually have the preliminaries at Brandon. I'm just wondering, like, if we have them, does that conflict with it?
Mr. Odie, I believe that approach has changed, and now they've gone to a 3-day meet that is, everything is held at one location.
Okay.
The flexible workshop days that we worked on this year.
Yep.
Are a one-off every year, not baked into the master contract?
So what we did for this academic calendar required the association's approval going to that half-day flexible workshop. The 24-25 calendar, again, since it's brand new and we haven't experienced it, I did reach out and meet with the association, go through the proposed calendar, receive, for lack of a better phrase, their approval to move it forward through the process. I think what we will probably look at is evaluating this year and then also next year, and then whether or not we want to tweak it for, say, the 25-26 calendar. Because if we wanted to go move away from that, it would take away time from the beginning of the school year, if that makes sense. Yep. Again, questions, comments, anything further?
No, thank you very much. All right, with that, under consent, I would entertain a motion to approve items 2 through 6, please.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Personnel, I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 13, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Items 14 through 18 are there for your information only. Central office, there were no building permit applications. Board of Education, there are some thank you notes there, and it looks like most of them are for the retired employee holiday luncheon, as well as a plant sent in memory of a family member. That takes us to our formal board reports. Does anyone have a formal report that they would like to share this evening? All right, hearing none, there are a couple travel reports there for your review. Otherwise, that takes us to the end of our scheduled meeting. I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Be safe traveling home, please.